now that you've listened to these CDs in your listening space, your little personal listening space, now you go into your church and you pop them in the CD player, you plug in your iPod, and you take off the EQ from the channel strip and play them and see what it sounds like. If it sounds bad, now you've got some work to do before you can ever make a mix sound good, right? Because that mix, as good as that CD sounds when you play it in your room, that's as good as your mix is ever going to sound, because that's a perfect mix. And so know that you're never going to be able to do your job right till you can get that system sounding better. So that's a little bigger of a challenge, of course. Getting your system fixed up, it can a lot of times be done by, the processor, crossover EQ stuff, or maybe relocating some speakers or adding a couple things. But getting your system to sound good, every church I walk into, that EQ on the CD channel is all tweaked and contorted. And when that's the case, I know instantly there's huge problems here. If it's taken that to make this sound good, you're not going to believe what you're going to do with each channel, right? You've got to get that thing sounding good and bypass that EQ. That EQ should always be bypassed. Turn the EQ flat and listen to your CD now in your room. And what you're going to listen for is listen to that reverb. Now again, if you've got the plastic chairs and a hard ceiling and maybe a concrete floor, some of these churches, you're going to have, it's going to be different than when the crowd is there. So do what you can about that, but you need to learn your room, because if your room, builds up at 400 hertz or something, and you need to remember what you're going to be correcting for. Hopefully you fix that in the system so you can neutralize it and get it sounding good. But you need to listen for that reverb. You need to listen for how each frequency sounds and what frequencies may be jumping out, assuming you're not going to be able to fix some things.